Hey everyone, Oswanton007 here to do my WrestleMania 16, or if you want to call it 2000, or XVII. Yeah, this is my review for it. So, again, this isn't very much of a, this isn't a great pay-per-view, so I'm just going to try and fly through this. There's only really one great WrestleMania match, maybe one okay, that could be on the card for it. But we'll just start us off with match 1. Oh, what's really interesting about this is that I'm watching 2001, and there's only about half these people left in the company on pay-per-view. It's so weird. Like, going 3 years later, I'm almost 4 years later, 2 years later, and the differences in the company is huge. So we start off with match 1, which is D'Lo Brown and the Godfather versus Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan. It was a terrible match. It's a terrible match to open up the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Nothing special really happened. Ice-T came out with D'Lo and Godfather, and he was singing, which was terrible. Yeah, so half star for that match. I'm going to try not to reveal the endings if I can. Match 2, Hardcore Battle Royal. Something I noticed in this is that the only person that really did anything later is JBL and Taz. There was like 15 people in this match, and those are the only two that went on to do anything. Nothing special, but it was the match was nothing special, but it was interesting and fun. The ending was strange. You've got to watch it to know what it is. Something with Bob Holly and Hardcore Holly and some other dude. It was terrible. 2 stars. Al Snow and Steve Blackman versus TNA. Boring. 1 star. Match 4. Edge and Christian versus the Hardys and the Dudley Boyz in a 3-way triangle ladder match. It was a good match, but like they did so much better later. They are like the match is a good pay-per-view match, but it doesn't live up to, like, this is their first great match as a 3-way. But later they do so many better ones than they have here. And it just, once you've seen those other matches, this one just does not stand out. Even though it got a 4 stars, it doesn't stand out. It's still a great match with tons of spots. But it's not when you say, oh, what about that one? You go, oh, what about TLC 1 or 2? Even 3 if you want to, but it doesn't have 3 of them in there. So as I said, 4 stars. Edge and Christian win. Everyone knows that. But this match is on, like, I don't know why. I think it's because of maybe the Dudley's going to TNA, but for some reason, I don't know why they always put this match on DVDs instead of the TLC matches. For example, Jeff Hardy's DVD, the new one. I don't know. I just always see this match rather than the other matches. I do not know why. I think it was the tag team, the greatest tag teams of all, the most dominant tag teams. It was on this one. That was that match instead of the other one. Okay, so match 5. Terri versus Kat. You can really only give this match stars for how good looking they are. Terri and Kat are great, but they look great, but they didn't really have a match. I gave it a dud. What else can I do? It's not really, I can't give it an NA because they wrestled. But it was pretty much just so you could have some women's wrestlers on the card. As well as Chyna, who doesn't really count as a woman. As I bring you to my next match. Match 6. Chyna and Too Cool versus La Resistance. It was an okay match, but once again it was nothing special, as like the rest of these matches, except for the ladder match. I don't know what to say about it. it brought up a good feud later, and a relationship between Eddie Guerrero and Chyna, which was interesting. What happened with that? Nothing much else I can say. It was really, yeah. 2 stars. 2.5 stars, sorry. 2.5. Match 7. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit versus Y2J. First fall was, I believe, the European. Second fall was the IC title. It was a great technical match, but it was a great. Oh, sorry, it was a great technical match. But it was not a crowd pleaser. There were no real spots, and they were all kind of tired at one point, which made it incredibly slow. 2.5 stars. Match 8. DX versus Kane and Rikishi. DX was, who was it? Oh, shit, I can't remember. Oh, well. It was I think it was like X-Pac and like Road Dogg or something. Like, yeah, who knows. Kane and Rikishi. It was a terrible quick match, just done to humiliate DX. And the ending was one of the top 10 worst WrestleMania moments of all time. Do not remember what happened. It was that shit. Half star for that match. Now the main event of the night, match 9. Was a fatal 4-way with McMahon in each corner, which was Triple H, who had Stephanie in his corner, versing the Big Show, who had Shane McMahon in his corner, versing The Rock, who had Vince McMahon in his corner, and Mick Foley, who had I don't remember. Someone had some. Mick Foley had Linda, but Triple H and The Rock. No, Big Show and The Rock had somebody else. I'm not sure. I've got those two mixed up. I'm not sure who's got who for that one. It was a good match, but I had a lot bigger expectations for it. It wasn't outstanding like you thought it would be, like a WrestleMania main event needs to be. It wasn't like, oh, this is awesome. It was a good match. It was slow in the middle and near the end, but it had a cool twist. It was great that it wasn't Foley's last match. 3.5 stars. Overall, I gave the pay-per-view a 5 out of 10. Thanks, guys. I'm a Swanton. I'll talk to you later.